pathways of restoration, healing broken lives, and strengthening the moral fabric of our nation. Throughout this week, we have witnessed the best of who we are and what we stand for. In the discussions that sharpened our thinking, the exhibitions that showcased creativity at station level, and the community engagements that reminded us that our service is truly of the people and that what we do matters. The week's events have reaffirmed a simple and powerful truth. Our work, corrections, is people-centric. It thrives where compassion meets professionalism, where discipline is balanced with humanity, and where service is guided not by compulsion, but by conviction. Distinguished guests, friends, and colleagues, allow me at this moment to express my sincere gratitude to our chief guest for the unwavering leadership and vision that continues to anchor our reform agenda. To our partners and stakeholders from the judiciary, the National Police Service, probation and aftercare, the private sector, the civil society, and development agencies, thank you for walking this journey with us. Your support, ideas, collaboration remain central to building a correctional system that truly serves the common good. To our officers, uniformed and non-uniformed, within the State Department for Correctional Services, your resilience, professionalism, and dedication are the backbone of this service. You embody discipline, sacrifice, and quiet, unspoken heroism that sustains our work every single day. Tujipigieni makofi. And to the organizing secretariat, including the Nomination Academy, who made this week possible, from logistics to coordination, from hospitality to communication, you have done us proud. Tuwapigieni makofi. The excellence with which you have executed every detail reflects the very efficiency our theme calls for. Friends, as we celebrate tonight, we are also reminded that our journey is far from over. Every success we celebrate tonight must serve as a stepping stone to even greater milestones. In the year ahead, we continue to focus on enhancing institutional efficiency, improving rehabilitation outcomes, and deepening community partnerships. We will intensify the use of technology and innovation, even as we embrace clean energy to improve service delivery. Above all, we shall remain guided by conviction that corrections is about humane management of our client base. Tonight is a celebration of our shared values, our collective purpose, and our belief in the power of justice done right. As we look forward to Correctional Service Week 2026, may we carry with us the lessons, friendships, and renewed sense of duty that this week has inspired. In closing, allow me to borrow the words of Nelson Mandela, who once said, "It is said that no one truly knows a nation until one has been inside its jails. A nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but how it treats its lowest ones." These words remind us that the work we do, often unseen, is among the most profound expressions of justice and humanity. I was in prison and you visited me. So tonight, let us celebrate ourselves. Let us celebrate a successful week. Let us also celebrate the noble calling that binds us to serve, to reform, to restore hope. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular duty and honor and privilege to request us to be upstanding with a continuous clap, thunderous clap, and welcome our chief guest to address us. Karibu Waziri.
Asante sana. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, PS. I'm very conscious that the reason why you haven't eaten anything at this point in time, and so I will be very brief in my remarks. Your Excellency Major General Ms. Rale Seyidov, Deputy Minister of Justice, Republic of Azerbaijan, Your Excellency David Fortune, Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs, Sierra Leone, Dr. Salome Biako, Principal Secretary, State Department for Correctional Services, Your Excellency Sultan Hajiev, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Azerbaijan to Kenya, and a very good Kiswahili speaker. In a very short time, all principal secretaries present, Mr. Patrick Karandu, the Commissioner General of the Prisons, Kenya Prison Service, Mr. Joseph Senesie, Director General Sierra Leone, Correctional Services, Mr. Bongani Fona Humalo, representative of the Commission of Prisons, Kingdom of Eswatini, Dr. Christine Obondi, our Secretary of Probation and Aftercare Services, all senior government officials present, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. It is with great joy and deep pride that I join you tonight as we bring to a close the Correctional Service Week 2025, a remarkable week that reaffirmed the strength, purpose, and progress of our correctional fraternity. As a matter of fact, I really wanted to be with you for the week, but unfortunately I had a state responsibility on Tuesday. That's the first day, and I'm very happy and appreciate CS Soipan Tuya for joining you in the opening ceremony. And I almost missed also this one, but I'm very happy that I was able to reschedule other engagements to be here, because this is a very important engagement. This year's theme was efficient service delivery for common good, which could not have been more befitting. It speaks to a service that is evolving, one that places people at the center, values accountability, and recognizes the true measure of justice lies not in punishment, as the peers have said, but also in transformation. This week has been a vibrant showcase of presentations and plenaries anchored on teamwork and unity of purpose, from the insightful panel discussions to the exhibitions, from the outreach activities to the interagency collaborations. One could clearly see a service that is no longer confined to the walls, but one that is reaching to the hearts and to communities. I have been especially encouraged by the collaboration that has permeated every event during which officers from the State Department for Correctional Services work side by side, as guided by a shared commitment to service delivery. It's important to see that you're working together as a team. You know, in a very competitive world, everybody wants to be the one to be seen to shine, as against the other. But as one speaker once said that, I think it was an American president who said that a lot will be done if we do not care who takes the credit. The biggest challenges we always have is individual shining and outshining each other, people outshining each other to show that I am the one who makes this department succeed. I am the one who makes this sector succeed. But what we must celebrate tonight is teamwork and the collective success of the department rather than individual success. And that is really very important, very important. This is how national justice sector reforms happen, not working in silos, but through collaborations enabled through shared values. I am aware that you have shown extraordinary courage and professionalism. Day after day, you serve in environments that test both your resilience and your humanity. You do so quietly, without fanfare, and often without full public understanding of the weight you carry. I don't think many Kenyans understand what it means to work with, prisoners, or to work in the probation sector to try to rehabilitate persons who have gone through this process of justice. And I think it is important for you to know that even though you work in silence, away from cameras, away from public glare, we celebrate you tonight, because that work you are doing silently is what makes our country a better place to live in. So it's important to know that. I am reminded of a story of such a gala that happened in a small way, where there was a big gala or a celebrations for persons who are working in a construction site. And so in the evening, when the announcement was made, nobody knew who was going to be overall winner. So during the announcement, everybody was told to guess who was going to take the overall award in that very important gala. And so people asked, and one was saying it's the architect, the other one was site engineer, the other one was saying it was the mason, the other one was saying it's the electrician, the other one was saying it is all kinds of professions that were working in that place. But eventually the award went to a very quiet, unknown lady whose work was to bring food to the stone cutter in the construction site. And so when we asked why was this the case, it was discovered that that lady went out of her way to ensure that it provides the necessary energy to the person who was providing the stones that helped build the construction site. So there are a number of those kind of ladies here who have done their work quietly, and they move the ministry, and then thankfully the cabinet secretary takes the credit. So tonight we celebrate you. Sometimes when they say, let's thank our CS for great leadership in this, some of the things I don't even know where you are doing it. So I've come here to say from a personal perspective, thank you very much for the work you do every day, even when we are not seeing as those of us who are in the headquarters. Tonight we gather to celebrate you. To every officer soon to be honored for exemplary service, know that your dedication matters profoundly. You are the silent architects of safer communities and the unseen champions of second chances. Correctional reform is an administrative undertaking that entails moral commitment geared towards building a system that is people-centric, humane, and aligned to standard minimum rules for treatment of offenders. We wish to recognize our partners for their unwavering support and commitment. In particular, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to the Ford Foundation in collaboration with the Crime CPOR for their generous and consistent support towards Correctional Service Week 2025. Your partnership continues to inspire and strengthen our collective mission. There is equally opportunity for all our partners to feel free and extend support for the Correctional Service Week 2026. I also take this opportunity to commend the organization committee of this year's Correctional Service Week. You have executed your mandate with precision and grace. The level of professionalism demonstrated from the planning to delivery reflects the maturity and the efficiency of this department in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate tonight, let us do so with gratitude, renewed purpose. Let us celebrate the milestones achieved, the partnerships forged, and the commitment that continues to define this noble service. To our young officers, remember that the uniform you wear is not just a symbol of authority, but also of trust. Serve with honor, lead with dignity and integrity, and always uphold the dignity of those you are in charge of. To our leaders in this sector, continue to inspire, innovate, and guide with wisdom. Transformation is not a single act, but a sustained commitment to doing better every day. In closing, I'm reminded of the timeless truth that justice without compassion is incomplete, and security without rehabilitation is unsustainable. Indeed, this is a sector that is driven by compassion. Compassion. I know the PS have quoted Jesus when he said that to those who say, I was in prison, you came to see me, is a gateway to heaven. One of the greatest attributes that Jesus had was compassion. And so the reason why he thought that those who are in prison must be visited was because he believed in second chance. And he thought that every human being living in sin and or finding themselves in a situation of sin is a prisoner. Even though they are not incarcerated in a prison, he is a prisoner. And so he came to give them a second chance. And he thought that one way of extending that compassion is also to give a second chance to those who are in prison. Of course, he was a son of God. He would have gone to the prison and break the place and tell everybody, now, prisoners, you are free. But he knew that prison was an important place for correcting those who have going through certain, who have committed certain offenses. And therefore, even as they are being corrected, it must be done with compassion. And therefore, this is a job of compassion. When, for the few times I've visited prisons, you really look there and you're looking a very beautiful lady, and you're asking yourself, so you are whispering to the officer in charge, and you're saying, and that one, how did he come here? I tell you, it's murder. Hey, you are like, even this one, yeah, so it's important to demonstrate compassion. I'm just wondering what the officers go through as they try to, work with these people. And those who will be in for life, what do you tell them every day about life when they know that their life is confined around the walls of prison? So this is something that it takes a big heart. This job is not easy. I'm sure it's not easy. And I really, really appreciate all of you. Congratulations for accepting to do that very important job. So the future of correctional services in Kenya is bright because it's being built by men and women who believe that change is possible, that service is sacred, and the efficiency and humanity can coexist. We look forward to Correctional Service Week 2026. Let us carry with us the energy and unity that have defined the edition of this year. I want to thank also our visitors from Azerbaijan, Sierra Leone, Germany, and various other countries that are represented here who are working with us, the partners, the people who've come here to celebrate with us this Correctional Service Week. We want to thank you for being with us and for appreciating or being around here for us to exchange ideas of what you do in your countries that can help us also to improve our services and become a better institution. And to the ministers who are here, thank you very much for being with us tonight and being patient. And for the visitors, the ambassadors, the private sector leaders here who are present, thank you very, very much for being with us. We don't take your presence here for granted and for being patient with us even when we have not kept time as we should. May God bless you all. May God bless our State Department. May God bless our country. Asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki.
Tumpigie makofi mazuri tafadhali. Let's appreciate him. Our chief guest with hearty claps. We may be seated. We thank you, our chief guest tonight, for your keynote address that has given us highlights on the future of the correctional service. You have taken cognizance that this ceremony is not only a celebration, but is also a time to recognize gallant officers who work behind the scenes, but form an important fabric towards the rehabilitation endeavors. We thank you, sir. Tumpigieni makofi mazuri tafadhali. I know scholars in the house will agree with me, psychologists like B.F. Skinner, Ivan Pavlov cannot agree more with me that there is necessity for rewards and motivation to individuals with excellence. Tupigeni makofi mazuri tafadhali. Our chief guest, sir, allow me at this juncture to give a brief musical interlude given by the Kenya Prisons Heavy Duty Band. One musical item, please. Thereafter, we'll go to the session on the award ceremony on excellence and award. Tupigeni makofi tafadhali Heavy Duty as they come on stage.
first runners-up goes to Garissa. Kindly give Garissa Probation Station a round of applause. Appreciate them, celebrate them. Garissa Probation Station, first runners-up. Sir Gerald, kindly give us the winner.
Sir, and this award category is based in afforestation. This is based at Milimani Law Courts in Nairobi. Milimani Chief Magistrate Probation Station has excelled in environmental stewardship through sustained afforestation efforts. The station has implemented impactful tree planting initiatives involving staff, offenders, and community partners, contributing to the ecosystem restoration and climate action. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to now invite Milimani CMS Probation Station. Wapigieni makofi tafadhali. Thank you, Ambassador, for accepting such a honor. Ladies and gentlemen, our chief guest, sir, with your permission, allow me with great humility to humbly invite the Secretary Probation and Afrocare Services to lead us into the next awarding ceremony. Tumpigieni makofi anapokuja daktari.
Best Probation Aftercare Services Institution, Physical Prudence Probation Aftercare Services goes to our brother Gerald. Kindly give us the profile of the best probation aftercare.
The best probation aftercare institute goes to Bungoma, Webuye County, located at Webuye Probation and Aftercare Rehabilitation and Training Center. It has distinguished itself through exemplary financial management and accountability. The institution has demonstrated prudence and use of resources, transparency in expenditure, and adherence to budgetary controls, setting standards for fiscal discipline within the probation service. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me invite Webuye PCRTC from Bungoma County.
Thank you, Sir Gerald.
I thank you, Daktari, for such a good gesture. Tumpigeni makofi, Daktari. Our chief guest, sir, with your permission and with great humility, allow me to humbly invite Dr. Aurelia Rono, the PS Parliamentary Affairs, to lead us into the next awarding ceremony. Sir, please. Tupige makofi mazuri tafadhali.
This awarding ceremony is Institutional Awards, KPS. Best in Hygiene, Landscaping and Beautification. Second runners-up goes to Maranjao Prison. First runners-up goes to the Langata Women Prisons.
Let's appreciate Madam as she received that award.
Now I want to request my friend Gerald to give us the winner.
The winner in this category, Best in Hygiene, Landscaping and Beautification. This institution is a women prison that has set high standards in institutional cleanliness, environmental design, and aesthetic maintenance. The facility features a well-maintained grounds, flower gardens, and designated green zones that create a calm and rehabilitative atmosphere, waste management systems, and efficiency organized. The staff and inmates work collaboratively to sustain daily hygiene routines. The institution has integrated beautification into its rehabilitation programs, engaging offenders in landscaping, cleaning the environment, and care as life skills. It is commitment to orderliness, sensitization, and environmental has made it a model of the best practice within the correctional institution. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Embu Women Prison.
Wapi makofi ya Embu, let us celebrate Embu. Embu Women Prison. Kindly give them a round of applause.
Makofi mazuri wanapoingia jukwani tafadhali. Thank you, Daktari, for such a kind gesture. Tumpigeni makofi tafadhali. Let's appreciate her as she leaves the stage, please. Makofi mazuri tafadhali. Our chief guest, sir, with your permission and with great humility, allow me to humbly invite the Commissioner General of Prison to lead us into the next award categories and ceremony.
This award category is Best in Offender Rehabilitation and Reintegration. The second runners-up goes to Shikusa Boston Institution. First runners-up goes to the Langata Women Prisons. Give Langata Women's Prison a round of applause.
Makofi mazuri tafadhali wanapoingia jukwani tena.
My friend, my brother, Sir Gerald, kindly give us the winner of the Best in Offender Rehabilitation and Reintegration.
The offender in rehabilitation and reintegration is a women prison that has earned recognition for its holistic and well-structured rehabilitation programs designed to prepare offenders for successful reintegration into society. The institution offers a range of services, including psychosocial counseling, life skills training, spiritual guidance, and vocational courses such as tailoring, beadwork, and agri-business. Strong collaboration with families, community organizations, and local administration. It enhances follow-up and support in reintegration pathways. The prison has also fostered mentorship and peer support groups, linkages with reintegration partners to reduce recidivism. Its approach reflects a balance between care, discipline, and empowerment to a societal reintegration. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Kapsabet Women Prison.
Give a round of applause to the winners, the Kapsabet Women Prisons.
Thank you, sir, for accepting to give those awards. Sir, with your permission, let's appreciate the Commissioner General as he takes his seats, please. Makofi mazuri tafadhali. Our chief guest, sir, with your permission and with great humility, allow me to humbly request the Director General of Sierra Leone, Mr. Sensi Joseph, to come and lead us into the award ceremony.
The award ceremony, we shall be awarding the best in farms. The first runners-up in this category is the Langata Women Prisons. Give Langata Women Prisons a round of applause. Asante sana. Langata wamepata zawadi. Kindly, Sir Gerald, give us the winner, Best in Farms.
The Best in Farms winner is a prison that has distinguished itself through a well-managed and productive agricultural programs that supports institutional sustainability and offender rehabilitation. The farm engages in inmates, in crop cultivation, and livestock rearing, equipping them with practical skills in modern farming techniques. Produce from the farm contributes to food security within the facility and reduces operational costs. The institution has also embraced climate-smart agriculture, irrigation practices, and structured farm planning. Its success reflects a strong leadership, effective resource use, and the integration of rehabilitation with productivity. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Maranjau Prison from Mwea. Thank you. our chief guest, sir, allow me the permission to request the PS Dr. Jane Imbunya to lead us into the next award ceremony.
The award ceremony is Best in Industry. The first runners-up is the Langata Women Prisons. Sir Gerald, kindly give us the winner, Best in Industry.
Thank you. In this category, our chief guest, sir, is a training institution that has excelled through the Pre-Aqua initiative, an innovative industrial program focused on the production and packaging of purified water for sale. The project generates revenue for the institution while equipping trainees and inmates with practical skills in processing, packaging, and quality control. Pre-Aqua demonstrates effective resource utilization, institutional self-reliance, and value addition within the correctional sector. Through this initiative, this institution has showcased how industrial projects can support rehabilitation, sustainability, and economical empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Prison Staff Training College. Makofi mazuri tafadhali. Thank you, Daktari. Thank you, Daktari. Let's appreciate Daktari as she resumes her seat, please. Our chief guest, sir, with your permission and with great humility, allow me to humbly request our Commissioner General Prison to lead us into the next award category again.
Thank you. The Best in Afforestation, those are the awards that we shall be giving. The first runners-up, Best in Afforestation, first runners-up goes to the Langata Women Prisons. Sir Gerald, who is the best in afforestation?
Thank you. This is an institution that has demonstrated exceptional commitments to environmental conservation through a well-structured afforestation and greening programs. The institution leads tree planting initiatives involving inmates, staff, and the community. Partners contributing to landscape restoration, soil conservation, and climate resilience. It has established tree nurseries, expanded green zones within the facility, and also promoted environmental awareness as part of the rehabilitation. These efforts have positioned the institution as a model for sustainable practices within the correctional system. Ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate Naivasha Medium Prison. Prison. Makofi mazuri tafadhali. Thank you, sir, for accepting to give those awards. Tumpigie makofi anaporudi tafadhali. Let's appreciate him with better claps. Thank you. Sir, with your permission, allow me, with great humility, to now invite the Principal Secretary for Correctional Services to lead us into the next award ceremony. Tumpigeni makofi anapokuja tafadhali.
The next award ceremony is Best Managed Institution / Financial Prudence. The second runners-up goes to Mombasa Remand. Tuwapigieni makofi tafadhali wenzetu kutoka Pwani. Mombasa, kindly give a round of applause for Mombasa Remand. Shabash. The first runners-up goes to the Langata Women Prisons. Thank you. Sir Gerald, kindly give us the winner for the Best Managed Institution / Financial Prudence.
Our chief guest. The next award goes to an institution that has distinguished itself through exemplary financial governance and operational efficiency. The institution upholds strict accountability in budgeting, procurement, and expenditure, ensuring that resources are allocated to priority programs without wastage. It has demonstrated effective planning, transparent reporting, and responsible use of public funds. Through prudent management, the prison has supported rehabilitation initiatives, improved service delivery, and enhanced institutional sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Nanyuki Women Prison.
Tuwapigie Nanyuki makofi tafadhali. Tuwape mkono wa kongole wenzetu kutoka Nanyuki. They are the best managed institution and financial prudence. Nanyuki.
Thank you, Daktari, for accepting to give such awards. Tumpigieni makofi mazuri tafadhali, Daktari anapo shuka jukwani. Our chief guest, allow me to request the heavy duty to give us a brief musical interlude. Thereafter, we continue with the remaining part of the award ceremony.
Masilona serie na mare na masanga mengi, wasichana warembo utoka kwetu kule Dawida. Masilona serie na mare na masanga mengi, wasichana warembo kutoka kwetu kule Dawida. Wadauda wele mokoha na mrogu wa wele mwahuka. Wadauda wele mokoha na mrogu wa wele mwasida. Nikuna bahati wa Dawida na maimi wakie waki Dawida. Wachiluna wachoko na waselo vibarilo nisakuze wakisho wako. Rrchanga na lila wakisho basi usemi sige.
Penzi wakesho ndo kandige mwendo wakwa. Penzi wakesho siniache niteseke. Penzi wakesho ndo kandige mwendo wakwa. Penzi wakesho siniache niteseke.
Wadauda wele na mrogu wa wele mwahuka. Wadauda wele mokoha na mrogu wa wele mwasida. Nikuna bahati wa Dawida na maimi wakie waki Dawida. Wakiluna wachoko na waselo vibarilo nisakuze wakisho wako. Rrchanga na lila wakisho basi usemi sige.
Penzi wakesho ndo kandige mwendo wakwa. Penzi wakesho siniache niteseke. Penzi wakesho ndo kandige mwendo wakwa. Penzi wakesho siniache niteseke.
Asante sana, asante. Let's appreciate Orchestra Heavy Duty Band. Wapigeni makofi mazuri tafadhali. Our chief guest, sir, allow me, with your permission and with great humility, to now humbly invite Mr. Ghislaine Adeski from Telio to come and lead us into the next awarding ceremony. Ghislaine Adeski, please. Ghislaine Adeski. Tumpigeni makofi mazuri tafadhali.
Our guest of honor, these are individual awards from Probation Aftercare Services. And these individual awards, our guest of honor, they are awards that Chandaria Foundation has donated 10,000 shillings for each individual and a certificate. And all trophies are donated by Crow. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to call upon the second runners-up in Best in Crime Prevention Initiative. Kindly, may we put our hands together for the one and only second runners-up, Andrew Kanyotu Mongai from Nairobi Probation Hostel. Kindly give Andrew a round of applause. First runners-up goes to Mohammed Noor Ali Sharif from Garissa Probation Station. Give Ali Sharif a round of applause, all the way from Garissa. Sir Gerald, who is the winner for the Crime Prevention Initiative?
This is a person or a personality that has demonstrated exceptional initiative in advancing crime prevention and community safety. Working at Lamu Probation Station, she has actively engaged local stakeholders and implemented strategies to reduce reoffending. Her proactive approach and passion for community-based rehabilitation have contributed to a safer and a more resilient neighborhoods. She is commended for her leadership, innovation, and responsiveness to emerging risks. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Madam Rehema Mugiriama. Makofi mazuri tafadhali.
Rehema Mugiriama from Lamu Probation Station. Kindly give her a round of applause once more.
Let's appreciate as she receives that award. Kindly, please. Thank you, Mr. Jacopo from AMREF, for accepting to give those awards. Our chief guest, sir, with your permission, allow me to humbly request Marco Kazila from the Tree of Life to lead us into the next award ceremony.
The next award ceremony is committal to probation institutions. Kindly give him a round of applause.
Rupigie makofi mazuri tafadhali. Mr. Marco.
The second runners-up, committal to probation institution, goes to Salvatore Capis from Shanzu Boys Probation Hostels. Tumpigieni Capis makofi tafadhali. First runners-up goes to the one and only Ezra Odondi Joyo from Butere Probation Station.
Let's appreciate him as he comes on stage.
Gerald, kindly give us the winner for committal to probation institution.
Thank you. This winner is recognized for her efficiency and accuracy in managing committal processes within Kapsabet Probation Station. Her diligence and attention to detail have ensured timely referrals, compliance with the legal frameworks, and enhanced institutional coordination. She upholds high ethical standards and plays a pivotal role in bridging courts, communities, and correctional institutions. Her work has strengthened case flow and administrative accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome one and only Rukia Mwenje Sanya.
Rukia comes from Kapsabet Probation Station.
Thank you. Let's appreciate our guests as they resume the stage, the seat. Our chief guest, sir, with your permission and with great humility, allow me to humbly invite the Deputy Minister, Internal Affairs of Sierra Leone to lead us into the next award ceremony.
The next award ceremony is Best in Innovation and ICT Leveraging. The second runners-up goes to Lady Sarah Maka John. Kindly give a round of applause for Lady Sarah Maka John. She comes from the headquarters of Probation Aftercare Services. The first runners-up goes to the one and only Lady Martha Gethenji from JKIA. Kindly give Lady Gethenji a round of applause. Yes, anapokuja na tabasamu ya kipekee Bi Martha Gethenji. Tumpigieni makofi tena. Akiwa anatoka katika Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Shabash, mabibi na mabwana, naomba sasa nimpishe mwenzangu akaweza kutupa habari ya yule aliyekuwa wa kwanza kabisa kwa Best in Innovation and ICT.
Thank you. This is an individual who has distinguished herself through her innovative and use of technology to improve service delivery at Nairobi Probation Hostel. She integrates digital tools, streamlined reports, data management, and case follow-up. Her forward-thinking approach has enhanced efficiency, accountability, and institutional operations. She remains a champion of modernization and problem-solving within the correctional system. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome one and only Madam Penina Jesang Kitur
from Nairobi Probation Hostel. Tumpigeni makofi anapokuja jukwani Madam Penina Jesang Kitur. Mwendo ni mwendo wa aste aste. Shabash.
Thank you, sir, for accepting to give such awards. Tumpigeni makofi anaposhuka. Let's appreciate him with hearty claps as he resumes his seat, please. Our chief guest, sir, with your permission, allow me to the Director General of Sierra Leone to come and lead us into the next awarding ceremony. Let's appreciate him as he comes.
This is individual awards for Kenya Prison Services, Best in Community Engagement and Reintegration, The first runners-up goes to ACGP Beverly Lungatso.
PSTC.
Tumpigieni Madam Beverly makofi tafadhali. Sir Gerald, kindly tell us who is the winner for the best in community engagement and reintegration.
Thank you. This is an individual who has made notable contribution to the main prison. He has worked closely with communities, institutions, and families to facilitate successful social reintegration. His dedication to restorative justice and post-release support has reduced stigma and fostered collaboration with external partners. He is appreciated for his empathy, engagement, and a hands-on approach to rehabilitation. Ladies and gentlemen, Maulid Idi Maro
from Kajiado Main Prison.
Thank you. Let's appreciate him as he leaves the stage. Thank you. Our chief guest, sir, allow me to humbly invite DCG Mr. DCG from Eswatini, Mr. Bogani Humalo, to come and lead us into the next award ceremony.
The next award ceremony is teamwork and collaboration. The second runners-up goes to SSP Dr. Humphrey Young from Maranjao Prisons. The first runners-up goes to the one and only CP Guyo Wako from Thika Main Prisons.
Makofi mazuri tafadhali. Let's appreciate him, please.
Sir Gerald, just to ask, who is the winner for teamwork and collaboration?
The winner for teamwork and collaboration is celebrated for promoting teamwork and coordinating. She actively supports colleagues through joint planning. Creative spirit has enhanced institutional cohesion and strengthened operational results. And committed to collective achievement. By Best Innovative Award by one and only Madam Fairben Ombeva from Langata Women. Thank you. Let's appreciate as they leave the stage. Makofi mazuri tafadhali. Our chief guest, sir, with your permission and with great humility, allow me to humbly request the Principal Secretary, Correctional Services, to lead us into the next award ceremony. Madam, please.
This category is the best in innovation and ICT leveraging. The second runners-up, ladies and gentlemen, goes to Charles Ouma Mugabe from Ruiru Prisons. The first runners-up, ladies and gentlemen, goes to Dennis Kairigia Obure from Naivasha Maximum Prison. My brother Gerald, kindly tell the guest of honor who is the best in innovation and ICT leveraging.
Thank you. This is an individual who has demonstrated integrating technological solutions at Thika Main Prison. His efforts have improved administrative processes, data security, and communication systems. Through innovation, he has promoted transparency and operational ease within the institution. He is recognized as a forward-looking officer with a passion for digital transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to appreciate Mr. Guyo Wako from Thika Main Prison. Thank you, Madam Daktari, for accepting to honor the awardees. Let's appreciate her as she leaves the stage. Tumpigeni makofi mazuri tafadhali. Our chief guest, sir, and with your permission, allow me to humbly invite Mr. Humalo from Eswatini to lead us into the next awarding ceremony. Let's appreciate him as he comes on stage.
And this is the individual awards, SDCS. Teamwork and collaboration. Sir Gerald, who is the winner for the teamwork and collaboration?
The winner for this comes from the State Department for Correctional Services headquarters. She is a dedicated officer serving at the State Department for Correctional Services headquarters. She is recognized for her strong ability to work collaboratively across departments, fostering coordination and shared responsibility in program implementation. Her professionalism and reliability have made her an essential team player in driving institutional efficiency. In particular, she has been instrumental in the department Greening Kenya initiative. In this category, she was the only applicant. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome one and only Madam Helen Opio. Makofi mazuri tafadhali.
Madam Helen Opio ndiye ameweza kupata taji hii ya kufanya kazi kwa pamoja na wenzake pale ofisini katika shughuli za kujenga taifa letu la Kenya.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Let's appreciate him as he leaves the stage. Makofi mazuri tafadhali. He deserves better claps than that. Tumpigeni makofi mazuri tafadhali. Thank you. Our chief guest, sir, with your permission, allow me to humbly request the Secretary, Probation and Aftercare Services to lead us into the next awarding ceremony.
This is a Correctional Officer of the Year / Secretary, Probation, Aftercare Services Award. Kindly, Sir Gerald, who is the winner?
The winner is a committed officer known for her exemplary service in the rehabilitation and care of female offenders at Nakuru Girls Probation Hostel. She has consistently applied high standards of professionalism, mentorship, and case management. Her work has positively impacted reintegration outcomes that has and promoted dignity and welfare for young offenders. She stands out as a role model within the probation and aftercare services. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Salma Ahmed from Nakuru Girls Probation Hostel.
Tumpigie Salma makofi tafadhali. The next award, maybe you'll tell us who is awarding. Sir Gerald.
Thank you. Our chief guest, sir, with your permission, allow me to humbly request the Commissioner General Prison to lead us into the next awarding event.
This is Correctional Officer of the Year Prisons Award.
Response and staff coordination has contributed to a secure and stable institutional atmosphere. Gerald is respected for his discipline, integrity, and commitment to safeguarding both staff and inmates. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Mr. Gerald Ongume from Naivasha Maximum Prison. Let's appreciate him with hearty claps, please. Thank you, the Commissioner General. Tumpigeni makofi anapotoka jukwani tafadhali. Makofi mazuri tafadhali. Our chief guest, sir, at this juncture, allow me to humbly request you, sir, to offer, to give this award or to a distinguished and outstanding overall service award. Tumpigeni makofi anapokuja tafadhali.
This is Distinguished and Outstanding Service Cabinet Secretary's Award. And Sir Gerald, who do you think is the winner?
The winner to this award has shown exemplary dedication to correctional work through her leadership at the Shibolatewa Boston Institution. She is recognized for her, her integrity, discipline, and sustained contribution to policy implementation and institutional excellence. Over the years, she has advanced offender rehabilitation and built strong stakeholder relationships. In her current duty post, she has initiated sustainable rehabilitation and integration programs for the young offenders. Her expertise spans from the United Nations Organization mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo to other various jurisdictions in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and now welcome Professor Justina Mwangombe. Let's appreciate her as she comes on stage.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We kindly request you, sir, with a lot of respect, we kindly request you, sir, to kindly remain there. Yes. Thank you, sir, for accepting that request. Asante sana.
We are requesting that you award or you gift some of our leaders, and we will start by our Secretary, Probation Aftercare Services. Kindly, Madam Daktari. Watakuwa wanatunukiwa zawadi na mgeni wetu wa heshima. That is a gift hamper from our CS. The next one is our Commissioner General of Prison.
A round of applause.
Dr. Patrick Arandu, karibu sana. I want to request Major General I want to request PS Aurelia go on stage. Pigeni makofi tafadhali, Madam PS. Thank you. I want to request our host, Correctional Service 2025 this week, Madam PS Dr. Salome Biako, to come on stage to receive her gift from our CS. And thereafter, she will remain there together with our CS because she's going to gift our CS. Thank you. Now, our Principal Secretary, Correctional Services, she's going to award our guest of honor today, the Cabinet Secretary, Interior and National Administration. Karibu sana.
Thank you sir. Asante sana. Tunaomba bado kwa heshima sir. Kindly sir. We kindly requesting you sir. Thank you. We humbly request you to still remain there to award our partners their certificates. Thank you sir. Asante kwa kukubali. Thank you. The Embassy of the Republic of Azerbaijan in Kenya, you are requested to march forward and receive your certificate. A round of applause. A round of applause, please. Japan International Cooperation Agency. Thank you so much. Yes, clap for him, please. A round of applause for him, please. Then the Ford Foundation, get ready. The Prem. Thank you, the band. The Prem Rawat Foundation. A round of applause. The Prem Rawat Foundation. Thank you, the Prem Rawat Foundation. Thank you so much, madam. After the Prem Rawat Foundation, Tree of Life, get ready. Tree of Life, please. A round of applause. Tree of Life. Crime Sipoa, get ready. A round of applause. Drum rolls, makofi tafadhali. Crime Sipoa. Karibu kwenye jukwaa. Daystar University, get ready. Equity Bank, Equity Bank, Equity Bank, Equity Bank. Generation riding on wisdom. Generation riding on wisdom. Grow. Makofi ya generation riding on wisdom. State Bank Mauritius, get ready. State Bank of Mauritius, SBM Bank. Amref Health Africa. Amref Health Africa. A round of applause. Amref Health Africa. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, thank you. We appreciate you, sir. A round of applause. A round of applause.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As we are coming to the end of our program tonight, I want to request Madam Ven Kerubo to come and do the vote of thanks. Then from there, we shall have our national anthem. After that, we'll be given an order or the program, how we are going to leave the auditorium. Kindly, Madam Ven Kerubo, tunaomba tafadhali upande jukwani, ukaweza kutoa shukrani kwa niaba ya kamati andalizi.
Good evening. Wow, that was wonderful. The CS, Ministry of Interior and National Administration, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, Excellencies and honored dignitaries from the Republic of Azerbaijan, Sierra Leone, and all countries represented, international and the African regional guests, the Principal Secretary, Correctional Service, Dr. Salome Biako, and all Principal Secretaries present, the Commissioner General of Prisons, Patrick Arandu, the Secretary, Probation and Aftercare Services, Dr. Christine Obondi, the Deputy Commissioner General of Prisons Administration, Nicholas Maswai, the Deputy Commissioner General of Prisons, Technical, Jane Kiri, the representation from Eswatini, Deputy Commissioner General of Prisons, stakeholders and partners, directors present, prisons and probation's regional commanders and coordinators, officers in charge present, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Ven Kerubo, but I didn't come alone. Someone will say her name.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sharon Gesari.
It is quite a wonderful pleasure to be here on this day. What a truly remarkable and inspiring evening this has been. And on behalf of the State Department for Correctional Services, the Kenya Prison Service, and the Probation and Aftercare Services, it is our distinct honor today and great pleasure to stand before you tonight and deliver this vote of thanks. First and foremost, our sincere gratitude is to our Lord who has kept us alive to this day. Secondly, to our chief guest, CS Murkomen, your presence here tonight is a profound statement of the support and the appreciation you have for the tireless work of our correctional service personnel. Your address was both insightful and encouraging, and it has set an inspiring tone for our path forward. Thank you so much. We also extend a warm thank you to all our distinguished guests and partners, including Crime Sipoa, Ford Foundation, Magereza Sacco, Chandaria Foundation, Equity Afya, UNODC, ICRC, Tree of Life, Raoul Wallenberg Institute, just to mention a few. Your ongoing collaboration is a testament of your commitment to a wholesome success.
To our dedicated correctional officers and staff, tonight is a celebration of resilience, professionalism, and your unwavering commitment. Your work is often carried out behind the scenes, yet it is absolutely critical to public safety and the rehabilitation of offenders. Congratulations to those who have received awards tonight. This week, under the theme Efficient Service Delivery for the Common Good, we have explored innovative ways to enhance our services. This will not be possible without your tireless effort and willingness to embrace new approaches. Thank you for your immense contribution to building a more rehabilitative and inclusive correctional system. A round of applause also is due to the incredible team that orchestrated this elegant dinner and the entire Correctional Service Week. Your meticulous planning and hard work have created an evening that celebrates our achievements and strengthens our community. We thank the organizers, the secretariat, and the award voting committee academy, our host, the Edge Convention Center, as well as the technical and support staff who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes. To the presenters and speakers throughout the week, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and shaping the important conversations that will guide us in the coming year. To our development partners, your support for new initiatives, including the award presented tonight, it is invaluable and deeply appreciated. To all the guests who have joined us tonight, your presence is a powerful show of solidarity and encouragement for all of us as the correctional service community.
And as we conclude this memorable evening, let us leave here with renewed optimism and a shared commitment to build on the achievements of Correctional Service Week 2025. Thank you all once again for your participation, your dedication, and for making this week and award gala dinner an outstanding success. I want to invite you to say this after me: efficient service delivery for the common good. Please repeat: efficient service delivery for the common good. So 2025, as we culminate this evening, what shall we be saying? Efficient service for the common good. Now I'd like to hear you. 2025, what are we saying? Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you. Kindly give a round of applause. Before we get the national anthem, I'm reminded we have a dinner na tutaingia katika ngeli ya nyaa na nyamnyam muda usiokuwa mrefu, lakini kabla ya hapo yote tisa tutapata picha. Kwanza we shall have a photo session, a very brief photo session that will be led by my brother Gerald. Then from there we shall call upon Pastor Kennedy Ombati to pray for food, and we shall be getting direction from my brother Arita.
Thank you, our chief guest. As they prepare for the photo session, the brass band, chini kwa chini, together for the photo session, I'll request our chief guest tonight to lead this delegation, the Deputy Prime Minister of Justice, the Republic of Azerbaijan, the Principal Secretary, the State Department for Correctional Services, the Commissioner General Prison, the Secretary Probation and Aftercare, Dr. Aurelia Rono, His Excellency, Ambassador Sultan, the Deputy Prime Minister of Internal Affairs of Sierra Leone, the Director General of Sierra Leone, Mr. John Sensi, the Deputy Commissioner General of Prison, the Kingdom of Eswatini, Mr. Bogani Kumalo, and also accompanying will be the representative from Teleo. Kindly, please. Thank you. I request all the awardees to kindly come up front for the photo session. All the awardees, please. All the awardees tonight, please expedite. All the awardees, please. All the awardees. Thank you. I'll request Pastor. Thank you, brass band. I request please remain on stage. Kindly remain on stage. Thank you, the brass band. Thank you, brass band. Thank you. I request Pastor Kennedy Umbati to give us the closing prayer and also pray for the dinner. And thereafter, I'll request that all our distinguished guests will serve from this point, and the rest of us will locate from the other side of the serving point. Tusimameni juu tafadhali.
Our Heavenly Father, we give thanks and appreciation for giving us journey mercies to this area. Some of us came through road, some came through the air, and all of us arrived safely. We are really very happy for receiving our CS who has just graced the occasion. It is really special occasion because we have really seen a lot and we have known a lot this week. We have actually learned how we are going to improve service delivery to our clients. Therefore, we take this opportunity to thank you for making it possible for us to come here, and we also pray for the Holy Spirit to guide us and remind us all that we have learned and be able to apply them as we go back to our stations. Furthermore, Father, as we are going to partake our food, we pray that you may bless it so that we may get the energy and health that is needed for the purpose of serving our clients, for the purpose of serving the community, and also serving you. Father, also, as we leave this place, we also pray for journey mercies, so that everybody goes well, so that at the end of the day, we shall praise thy name for having known that everybody has reached his or her home safely. You know as well, you know what we can do and what we can do not do. Therefore, we place everything unto your hands to enable us do the right thing at the right time and enable us to do everything right so that at the end of the day, your name is glorified. Let thy will be done, for we pray in the name of Jesus Christ.
Asante sana, turuhusu mgeni wetu wa heshima ashuke jukwani. Let's allow our chief guest akuje ashuke jukwani atuongoze katika dina yetu ya jioni ya leo. Heavy duty, uwanjani wenu heavy duty. Atuketini tafadhali, heavy duty, uwanjani wenu.
Tunaomba.